Welcome in to Coming Off the Edge. It is Tuesday. It's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join with me, as always, Corey, Nate, and Jeff are in the building. What's going on? I'm James Crease.
Howdy.
What's up? What's up?
YouTube's posting to Twitter if anybody wants to join the chit chat.
We missed that drop again. Damn. We never get to YouTube.
And
Twitter just needs to figure it out, dude.
Yeah, it's like, for real. Why haven't they figured this out yet?
Because they don't want to.
They don't.
Well, that's dumb.
Why would?
But why not?
I mean, they're only losing money.
I don't know. They're making it a hassle, but there's us.
Oh, hey,
we're on the screen. That's us. That's the letter right here.
That kind of looks like me. And you guys.
So what soup do we got, guys?
Oh, it is the soup du jour.
I got nothing.
Corey's holding back. I missed the soup memo this week. I apologize. Jeff, do you have any queso in a bowl or Mexican
queso?
No?
No.
We should move soup to next week then. Or
I think that's a good idea.
Pot. Oh, we already did one of those. Remember
we did
that?
crock pot already.
What was the name of that?
Mock
pot, crock pot.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
Or mocktail.
Oh yeah, and a mocktail.
We did have
We
mocktail.
can still do crock pot. It's crock pot season. What's everyone's favorite crock pot thing to make amongst the winter season?
I would have to say
chili, yeah, like some soup.
You know what you're missing out on there is pot roast, because that beats a good chili. I feel like you have a pot roast.
If it's a good pot roast
beef, yeah.
Oh man, I'll take pot roast all day over chili.
Just not a big fan. It's because
I'm a big fan of beef stew as well.
Beef stew's fine.
With carrots. You know, beef stew's fine
with stew,
but I feel like chili and beef stew are things that you can make the pot roast first, and whatever leftover pot roast you can move that into your chili. I actually made a fantastic chili a couple of years ago. It was like bacon chili, and so we fried like everything. Like you put a layer of onions and you fry up all the meat, and you have bacon and everything, and it was fantastic. And just kiss fit recipe from Nick Mangold, and that's where I got that one.
Oh, it doesn't scanner.
I am anti crockpot. I think I've talked about it on this show before.
Yeah, whatever.
You have.
Somehow
you're still allowed on.
Why? I don't know.
What, Dutch oven?
A Dutch oven?
Yeah.
No.
You don't use a Dutch oven?
Yeah, what do you got? What's wrong, bro?
I don't know. I'm conventional.
How do you make a chili?
In a pot.
What about a crock pot?
Why?
Longer?
It allows it. So I make it.
I don't know why.
In a Dutch oven.
I don't know.
Cast iron. Then I put it in a crock pot for like 4 or 5 hours because it lets all the flavors meld, man.
But I guess you both are chefs.
Yeah.
I mean, you just cook on a slow cook process. I'm just old school like that. Like, when I learned how to cook, man, we didn't have you don't have crock pots in like industrial kitchens.
That's true. That is true.
Maybe you should.
But you just plug it in.
I mean, it's not efficient anyway at all.
Not efficient.
Well, no, wait a minute though.
No, if I'm making like chili in an industrial setting, like I'm making like 5 gallons of chili, not.
I got a 16-gallon.
That's a pretty big freaking crock pot. They don't.
But then what do you put it in? The warming table?
Well, yeah, a warming table.
Which is it's essentially a crock pot. It's just an industrial crock pot.
Oh.
Yes and no. You can. I guess you can adjust the temperature if the elements are correct. Yeah, but a soup well and a crock pot are different.
They're different.
I wouldn't recommend cooking something in a soup well. You may not.
No, it won't get there at all.
There's the difference.
Yep.
It's like a low end wide receiver 1 and a high end wide receiver 2. They are not the same.
I would also say that possibly a tilt skillet is similar to a crock pot.
A tilt skillet is. No, it's not. No, it's not at all.
Yeah, it is. That's how we always made our stocks.
Tilt skillet, aka brazier.
Corey, how do you not have one of those yet?
Is not a crock pot.
It's similar. It's the closest thing I could come up with.
I'm a single person. I'm a bachelor essentially. Like I don't need a soup well.
Well, no, you're looking at the. Oh, that's the soup well. I thought that was like a queso machine thing. There.
Oh, funny.
It pretty much is.
I will take one for queso.
Do you know what I have behind me? What? One of those nacho cheese dispensers.
I'll take that for queso. Moe's, hit me up. Okay.
Living the golden dream at the
and is that the popcorn
household?
Is that a popcorn machine too?
That
Yeah.
looks like
Oh
a-
yeah.
Thank
It's,
you. Yeah, I'm talking. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's a big massive one. I've also got a little convection oven over here, a fridge.
Living the dream. Oh, is that the
Get the
basement
whole
with,
damn
that
spread.
you post with like the 8 TVs?
Yep. Yep.
Nice.
I'm facing the TVs right now.
Mm,
So
okay.
fun
That's
stuff.
very, that's very nice. And look at Jeff with the new little setup. Got a nice little like light action going.
You look kind of professional there, Jeff.
I know. We see
Little
you
bit.
now.
Trying, you know, you can actually see me. I'm not a shadow, just kind of hanging out. So
I can see the verified glowing around your head.
I'm not verified. Though.
Hopefully soon. You should
I'll
be.
never-
Hashtag verified. Jeff.
They'll never
Yeah.
approve me. I think I've gotten denied 6 or 7 times now. I will never be. Approved.
Wow. Well, you know, maybe lucky number 7 or 8 was coming your way.
Lucky number
Oh, we got-
45.
There we go.
Lucky
7 years
number
from now.
83.
What's everyone's
That's my
lucky number?
83rd time going for verification, and I finally got approved. Now nobody is on Twitter anymore, so that's why they approved me. I am the only one. I am the
But
last.
thank God we found the one last
They
person
never
to
fixed
verify.
the chat and they lost the business.
That's right.
Well, that does make sense.
Right
Get-
before Jeff's 83rd try.
It's gonna be last man on Twitter, just trying to get verified. Talking to myself.
So what's up, guys? What's
Fantasy football.
Corey? We got
Tuesday,
some
7
we got some
o'clock.
injuries.
Football.
Yeah, what happened this week, guys? Aaron Jones, 1 to 2 weeks, mild MCL sprain.
Yep.
and,
Chase Edmonds went on IR right before
you know,
weekend slate. That sucked.
we got
If you have
2.
Chase Edmonds.
I got a bad trade offer with Chase
Got a-
Edmonds involved.
What is it?
It wasn't from me for once.
No, it wasn't. It was tight end premium 10-team dynasty or super flex tight end premium 10-team, and it was I have Waller and Melvin Gordon. The guy wanted those 2 for Chase Edmonds, a late first, and Logan Thomas.
Smash.
No, I declined. I
Yeah,
declined.
good. You should.
I declined, and I sent a counter offer: CEH early first and Logan Thomas. So let's see if he does that. I don't mind parting ways with Waller for Logan Thomas if early first, top 4 first, and
Sorry.
CEH is involved. That's okay.
Didn't Seals Jones get injured too? And Thomas is coming back.
Thomas
this
is
week?
coming back. He should be coming back. He almost made it onto the field this week, but I guess they kept him off one more week.
Yeah.
So
And he'll be coming back.
I'm okay with Thomas. I like Thomas. I was a big fan of Thomas.
Signed a
I think his
3-year deal
usage-
too.
I think his usage is safe. Yeah.
Oh, definitely his usage is safe.
I mean, is it Darren Waller? No, but I mean, Darren Waller's not really putting up the numbers that we expected him to do either.
It's so sad.
You know,
maybe it is Darren Waller because Darren Waller has not been hitting it. So.
I think my strategy moving forward for dynasty leagues and in tight end premium is just to stay away from the tight end premium
Read my
position. Like you can just you can find ways to pick up decent tight ends. You don't have to go all out and waste a 2nd or a 3rd round pick on a tight end.
Yeah, we all did that a lot this year, didn't we?
Yeah, but I would say that sell these guys in the offseason. You know, Logan Thomas, and I think hindsight's 2020, but Logan Thomas and Robert Tonyan feels like 2 of the biggest sells from this past offseason that they provided top 10, tight end 1 going into the season. We all projected them to be tight end 1s, and they didn't deliver on that. And I think that could be a lesson going forward to Dynasty, that when you have these guys that, especially as they're 26, 27, 28 years old, they hit for 1 year, don't necessarily think that you've got a locked in top starter going forward and capitalize on that value.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Not too much. That's 11, 14 targets.
Yeah, I mean his target share was okay going in. I mean, before he got hurt. Like that's okay. Same with Robert Tonyan, but I think Logan Thomas has a higher ceiling. But I don't know. They're similar in age, Waller and Logan Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Logan Thomas is what, 30? There it is. Darren Waller is 29. I don't mind it too much. Like I said though, I wasn't giving away Darren Waller for Logan Thomas, a late first. And
there we go,
Melvin
Corey.
Gordon.
There's the next guy.
There we go. Now there's a guy that I can sink my teeth into, but he's pretty much on all of my teams.
He got traded week 4.
Yep.
So he didn't play much. 32 snaps. He got 2 targets, and then look at the next 5 games: 37 targets, 25 catches, and 289 yards.
And he's
I'm not
tight end
mistaken.
19 right now.
How many
Wow.
How many touchdowns?
Zero.
Zero.
Zero. If he gets a couple touchdowns, Dan Arnold would be in consideration of, the quote unquote elite tight end fantasy status.
So
But
funny thing,
he's a
since
ahead,
week 8, he's tight end 3
Yeah, since week 8, since when?
without a touchdown.
That's only
he's
3
tight
weeks.
end 3 because tight end scoring is down so far across the
Well,
league.
yeah.
And even, Kelsey was at 20 points per game last year, 19 points per game. He's
Yeah, I
at
like that.
16 points per game. Waller was at 17 points per game. He's completely fallen off. I think he's down at 12, 13 points per game. Mark Andrews running at tight end 2 right now at 15. I was really looking at it today, and it's shocking that the bottom has fallen out all over the place. And
The
Arnold
juice isn't
strikes
worth
me-
the squeeze.
Ride him this year if you've got him, but I think he kind of falls right into that Logan Thomas and Robert Tonyan in the offseason. Ride him when you got him right now, because we just see, I go back to Gary Barnage. We see these tight ends that just get hot for a
There's
year,
a
and it just
name.
feels like everything falls right for the guys, and then the next year they just disappear. And Arnold, maybe going forward, he's a guy that you can rely on. I don't know if I'm there, and we might see different coaching staff in Jacksonville. We might see different personnel entirely, and so I think that through this year, he presents fantastic tight end value, especially given the volume that he's receiving. It's just going forward that's a guy that I think in the offseason I'd be aggressively looking to sell if he continues and has a strong close of the season.
I love Dan Arnold. I've been scouting him since he was on Arizona, since he was competing with Max Williams. Happy when he moved to Carolina, and then really I was like hesitant when he moved to Jacksonville, and I'm happy the production. But like you said, Jeff, we don't know what 2022 and beyond really has in store for us. Travis Etienne coming back into the offense, a full-fledged different offensive approach. I think they're just trying to get by right now with a win here or a win there. And, they probably have, I don't know their draft capital, but I'm sure they have some kind of draft capital and will target the wide receiver position. LaVisca, DJ Chark is at the end of his career.
Chark is out, so.
Yeah. Marvin Jones, an old veteran that really hasn't performed and to their expectations. So, yeah, I can see them making moves and Dan Arnold's either usage going up or down because of it.
Well, I think
it's just
so.
I was going to say, the Urban Meyer offense is just not one that has featured tight ends since really Aaron Hernandez was the last guy that Urban Meyer's offense really featured.
Man, that's going way back.
I mean, that's a big name, though.
It is a big name, but Dan Arnold isn't exactly him. I don't know.
Right. Nobody's ever going to be Aaron Hernandez. I like Dan Arnold in this spot because Trevor Lawrence is targeting him over everyone else in that offense. So we're going to see the usage rest of this season. As far as dynasty goes going into next season, I'm probably going to try and deal him if I've got him anywhere.
Fair enough.
But if I can't deal him, I'm probably going to be okay holding on to him. And I think that there's value next season. If they change coaching staffs, I can see him getting a ton of usage. Plus, Trevor Lawrence is comfortable with the guy. Why would you not continue to use him in year 2 of Trevor Lawrence's career if Lawrence likes to target him? You're going to hold on to that guy and continue to use him.
Well, I think sometimes we see the young quarterbacks, they'll kind of defer to that tight end as that safety blanket. And then, as DJ Chark gets back or, whatever they do to replace that position, if they potentially use a wide receiver in the draft or go out and target somebody in free agency, because I think they have a decent amount of cap room, as Trevor Lawrence grows more comfortable working down the field, that's when the tight ends that you build an offense around are few and far between. And so as grows in comfort going down the field, I think that's where you'll see him phased out a little bit.
Maybe, perhaps, but maybe not. We look at Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce didn't really come alive until his 3rd, 4th year in the league.
Second year.
Second year?
The year after he was injured, and he did not stop since.
Nope.
Well,
that
put that down.
Well,
shot me down.
He was tight at 9,
here.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but can you pull up? Can we go to a maybe a player profiler and look at Dan Arnold's athleticism? I wonder, relative to a guy like Darren Waller, how does that profile? Because he's light. He's 220 pounds. He's not a big
Arnold. Arnold's a beast, dude. He's athletic.
Oh, and while we're doing that,
Shoutoutplayerprofile.com.
Immediately credit to player
Their
profile.
website is. Yes, all credit goes to player. 479. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
like
not
240.
exactly okay. 240.
burst score is great. Agility score is
468,
great.
bro.
Catch radius is great.
Dude, he's an athletic AF.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
And then here's Kelsey. So he was PPR 9 his second year, 862 and 5 tutties, and he just hasn't stopped. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight years, 5 straight years of being tight end 1, and he's currently tight end 1 in 2021 as well. And of course, Brad here letting us know they have 57 million in cap room. Maybe they get a Gallup. Maybe they bring Allen Robinson back. Who knows?
I'd be hard pressed to see
doesn't go there.
I'd be hard pressed to see A-Rob go back. That would be
I'm just saying.
shocking.
That'd be crazy.
All right, we got a couple questions here. Do I drop Schultz? Jarwin just went
For
on.
who?
That's a good question. For who?
Dan Arnold.
But Gallup comes back and we see Schultz have 2 targets. Gallup had 5 targets, but Jarwin is on the IR. But Zeke's also playing out of his mind, it seems.
Yeah.
I mean, the defense really won that game early and often on that. Like, they put him on the goal line rather quickly. And Zeke, we saw his usage really fast at the goal line, got in, 2 times, and then disappeared because they really did not need him. I mean, we saw 4th string running backs for the Dallas Cowboys in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's something that we struggle with is kind of taking too much out of one game. Like I saw people last week saying sell Deebo Samuel. I saw people saying Brandon Ayuk is back in the offense and you should sell Deebo Samuel, and George Kittle's back and they're not going to go with Deebo Samuel anymore. And that did not hold up. What you saw was Deebo Samuel was questionable to play in a game. They didn't really need him because it was a blowout, and so his end numbers didn't look good. But I do think as a community that it's just the race. I don't know if it's a race to be first or what it is, but you be right instead of first. Shout out to Cal. I saw he had that tweet just right before I jumped on here. He said, be right before being first, but you don't want to race to be the first person to get out on Deebo Samuel. And then he comes out on an island game on Monday Night Football and lights the world on fire.
He's hot right now.
3 games over 150 receiving yards. I mean, there are going to be dips in production. That's going to happen. But like consistently, Deebo Samuel is putting up points in an offense that doesn't have a ton of weapons.
And he was taking backfield work too. And we just saw Elijah Mitchell hurt. So I mean,
that hurts my soul.
He's having surgery
in the backfield. So they get creative usage with Deebo. They feel more comfortable with him. Who knows? I mean, this guy is, he's a strong buy in Dynasty. I think if somebody's worried about his injury history or anything like that, I don't think there's any reason. And I think it's a guy that certainly the value was there in the offseason last year. In 2019, they really rode him in that playoff run. And I think that anybody that can remember back to that can write off that 2020 injury year. And we're seeing exactly manifestation of the way that he took over that offense late in that season.
Yep.
That's great that you brought up that Elijah Mitchell injury, Jeff. Speaking of Jeff, what about Jeff Wilson Jr.? Now, we saw him get 10 carries, only had 2.8 yards per carry, finished 28 yards. But with Mitchell being out, do you think that Jeff? Oh, potentially. I mean, he's not going to get a full workload, is he?
No,
I wouldn't think so.
No way.
They didn't rule. Excuse me, they didn't rule him out though.
All right. Is it going to be like a Chris Godwin kind of activity like we saw last year when Chris Godwin broke his finger?
I mean, yeah, you would not expect a full workload, but he's not out.
I saw a report today that they still think that Mitchell might practice this week. And so I don't think that it's something that they're too overly concerned about. Wilson's a guy that we've seen Shanahan comfortable using him at the goal line. And that's where I think his real value really lies. It's one of those that I think he's a bye week fill-in or an injury fill-in, or if you're somebody like me that kind of builds 0 RB rosters, he's a great guy for that, because if they get around the goal line, Shanahan's willing to use him. It's just that you're not going to see much passing work traditionally out of that role. And I think especially as they get more creative to try to get Brandon Ayuk or Deebo Samuel touches out of the backfield, I think that really disappears in that offense.
Yeah. I'm just looking at last season, what his production was when I believe Raheem Mostert went down, and he got fairly decent fantasy production weeks 15, 16, and 17. He had 12, 27, and 23 fantasy points. Now, he had 3 touchdowns the last 4 games of the season. I'm sorry. Scratch that. 5 touchdowns, 3 rushing, 2 receiving, and some target work. I mean, the last game, 7 targets. I guess it's depending on the matchup. But I kind of like Wilson here. If he were to get more of a share, like, do they trust Sermon? Have we seen Sermon? No.
He won't play.
And Hasty doesn't really. Hasty's a
He's on
special
IR.
guy.
Yeah, he's on IR now too.
Well, more so for the case than- hey, once again, I'm getting thrown to the wind with my analysis. But sorry, you have to excuse me, man. I had a sick kid at home. I didn't really get too much chance to study. But
That's a fair excuse.
Jeff Wilson, he could be somebody, like, if this finger thing doesn't work out, here, pull my finger and pull him out of the game, Elijah Mitchell, then Jeff Wilson steps into a bigger workload.
Right? He's the only one, right? They got Wilson, Mitchell, Hasty's on IR.
And he's got a juicy matchup against Jacksonville this week.
Samuel gets more carries.
Yeah. Oof.
No,
you Trey Lance package. All right.
I put $5 on an anytime Trey Lance touchdown last night, and it didn't.
Well, maybe next week's better, especially if Mitchell with his finger, limited a little. You'd expect.
Maybe
that doesn't get my $5.
Trey Lance versus Trevor Lawrence next week.
Oh, they're playing the Jaguars and Dan Arnold versus.
Garoppolo has played fantastic though.
Yeah,
we need to recognize that he's played very well and
very efficient lately.
But like a package, get a couple rushes for Lance.
I think they tried that in the beginning, and it hurt them.
Did it?
Kind of went away from that, I think.
Okay, never mind. My fault. But Justin's saying he would drop Schultz because he has Pitts, so maybe get a receiver or running back. But who, right?
I think at this point, I'm concerned about what we've seen from Schultz, especially with Gallup coming back. Some of that is game scripts, but it just doesn't seem like the offense is using the tight end like they were early in the season. Mm-hmm. And so with Gallup back, I think the top 3 targets are going to go there. We're kind of nearing the point of the season where you're going to play Pitts every single week regardless. You need to start loading up your bench for the playoff run with handcuff running backs. I mean, that's what I try to right now with the trade deadline. If I'm in a redraft league, I'm trying to consolidate for elite players. I'm not so much concerned about depth because we see random guys step into production later in the season, but target those elite players, try to do 2-for-1 deals or 3-for-2 deals, where you're consolidating your talent at the top end into your starting lineup, load up handcuffs, because we see at the end of the year, teams that are out of it, it's always seems like we've got running backs like P. Ryan last year and like other running backs that just come into these massive games, week 15, 16, 17, when you're in your playoffs.
So trade, shout out to Shia. So my bad if I'm butchering that. Should I trade Godwin and Ramondre Stevenson coming off that big game for AJ Brown, PPR league?
I'm going to say no.
So either.
I don't want to give up. I mean, even no, because I like Stevenson too much, especially rest of season after what we saw last week. And I know Harris is coming back, but Ramondre Stevenson gets passing work that Damian Harris hasn't gotten this season. And if that keeps up, and New England's at the point where, like, realistically, they could make a playoff push here.
Oh, they are definitely making the playoffs. You're right about that, Nate. But I'm looking at it as like a rest of season schedule kind of thing. I mean, yeah, the Tennessee Titans play Houston, but then they play New England. They still have a bye. They play Jacksonville, Pittsburgh, San Francisco. Some teams that have been able to stop the long ball. And lately, we haven't seen Tannehill doing too much because of the fact that they can't get the run game going with the loss of Derrick Henry. So I'm all aboard the Chris Godwin train. I think this was just a dud from Brady, but I mean, Godwin still put up double-digit fantasy points, and it was a quote-unquote down week for him, 7 for 57. Right. I mean, they're playing the Giants, Indy, Atlanta, and then it kind of spins out a little bit. But week 17 in your finals, it's the New York Jets, and you definitely want to play Chris Godwin in week 17.
Shout out.
Yeah, AJ Brown is just stacking the injuries. It seems like he had 2 very good games coming back off the Chipotle incident, but he was very quiet.
Always would never.
You know, some of that is Marcus Lattimore, I think, but it's also being the focal point of the offense, really just not having anybody else to take the load off, because that they built everything around AJ Brown, Julio Jones, and Derrick Henry. Obviously, with Henry and Julio Jones out, you're just left with AJ Brown as injuries mount. It's only can do so much.
It worked the one way when Derrick Henry was still in there, but when you take out Derrick Henry, he's the real cog in that offense, and we know the offense is built around his durability and his ability to get down the field no matter what. Like he's a bowling ball, you can't stop him once he's spinning. But AJ Brown, like all you have to do is put coverage deep or play man coverage against him, and you're done.
Boom. Godwin Stevenson.
Yep.
Another question. Shout out to MP times 1606 X 1606. You guys high on Gibson, Antonio Gibson, coming off a huge game where McKissick kind of was not used as much. He was used a little bit in his receiving role, but Gibson, what, 24 carries?
24 carries, yeah.
24 carries. Did he get a pair of touchdowns?
Yes, he did, and that's what really gave him the fantasy value. Like they wound up finding themselves in the red zone. But his usage, 2.67 yards per carry, that's not very good. Like you got 64 yards out of 24 carries.
How many goal line touches?
I'm not sure about the goal line touch. Yeah, he was playing Tampa, but Khalil Herbert did the same thing, and he had over 100 yards.
How many goal line touches in the game, though? That influences the yards per carry.
Justin Fields in the backfield. I mean,
I gotta find this out.
Comparing him to Taylor Heineke, you're just in trouble there.
I mean, I'm not trying to compare quarterbacks.
Well, no, but I was going to say I was out on Gibson, but I was very encouraged by the workload. And we saw that at the end of last year, he moved into that workload. We've been waiting all year for him to get that workload. If he's going to get that going forward, yeah, I'm going to buy on him, because if he's going to get 20, 25 touches, that's the point where we believe that he's this talented running back. And if he's going to see the volume, and that's always been the struggle. And I certainly understand Khalil Herbert. That's one game, though. The Buccaneers have been the best team against running backs. And so I can kind of dismiss the low yards per carry just due to how successful that defense has been. The volume is what we've been really hunting for Antonio Gibson, and we saw that in the last game. So if he's going to get the volume moving forward, he's got a great opportunity to finally deliver on the draft capital that you used to acquire him, or whatever. If you bought low on him, it's a great opportunity to return value. So
Who would you rather have, Jeff? Javonte Williams or Antonio Gibson?
Antonio Gibson.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, in a dynasty situation, I'd rather have Javonte Williams. I think that he's a little bit more talented back, and I think he's going to move into that where he's going to get the volume. But this year, on a signal redraft situation, I'm going to take Antonio Gibson, because I just don't think that Melvin Gordon's going to go away. I think that the Broncos really like him. Now, if Melvin Gordon gets hurt, I think that Javonte Williams is going to be a top 5 running back, and he's a guy that I would be very interested in potentially acquiring if you can buy low on a redraft situation. Somebody that is concerned about Melvin Gordon. It's just Melvin Gordon's going to continue to get work.
As he should. He's been effective. He's looked solid. He's looked smooth. He's making great cuts. He's scoring touchdowns. He's only fumbled really one super impactful time this season.
I mean, Javonte Williams got 57% of the snap share this week. It was his biggest snap share to date. He didn't do too much production-wise. Now they're going on a bye week for week 11, but then they come back and play the Chargers, Kansas City, Detroit, Cincy, Vegas, Chargers to end the year. I like the Denver schedule going forward, and if it's anything like we've seen with these running backs, these rookie running backs coming in year after year, when they come out of the bye, it seems like it happened with Antonio Gibson last year, David Montgomery, Miles Sanders, DeAndre Swift. They come out of the bye week and their snap percentages increase, and obviously their fantasy points increase with that. So I'm really like, hey, if you think that Javonte, I mean, I would like to take an end of the season bet who's going to have more points from like week 12 on. That I think it's going to be Javonte Williams rather than Antonio Gibson. I just don't think he stays healthy enough to be on the field as much as we saw him this past week. He was fresh coming out of a bye. He's still dealing with that shin injury, so I'm a little concerned.
What are we gonna bet, Chef? Because
What do you want to bet?
Well, couching it if Melvin
Smiles?
Gordon
Got
doesn't miss
plenty of
time,
those.
we'll do it all day. If Melvin Gordon misses time, we're talking a different conversation. But you bring up those examples, and those backs took work away from Mike Davis and Peyton Barber. They didn't take work away from Melvin Gordon, and that's where I just think that you're going to get a situation. Best case, you're talking 60, even 70% going to Devonta. I just think that it's just all going to be a split, like we've seen all year long.
Yeah, if the split flips, what's the difference, right?
A split's a split.
Well, on a team
Whereas-
that needs
I can't do the splits.
me
I can't
either. Jeff, can you do the splits?
Oh, you can't.
Are you kidding me?
I'm
Are
like
you
the,
kidding me, bro?
I'm like the least athletic person in a field of unathletic people.
How low can you go?
All right, another question here. Do I keep Darrell Williams or should I try and get Gallman or Stevenson? Wayne Gallman or Ramondre Stevenson?
Do we know how long Cordarrelle's out?
What? He might play. It sounds like
he
he's going
may
to play on
play.
Thursday.
Is he
night.
gonna
He's
play?
practicing already, yeah.
Then definitely
Yeah,
not
they're-
Gallman.
There's some
CH.
speculation that it was a situation where he got a little bit banged up, but because of the game script, they just decided they weren't going to use him anymore, as opposed to the injury being that bad.
Can he always get receptions though?
Hmm?
Or were they up?
that-
I didn't watch games, guys. Was
No,
that
they
one
got-
winning?
No,
They took him out
got
of the
dis-
game.
So why couldn't they
got him.
throw it to him because of game script? He could still
Because they
get
were
the ball.
losing 40-3.
Oh,
There's
so
no
there was
point in rolling him
Well, then say
out.
There's just no need to play him, you know?
It was
Yep.
like it was 28-3 at halftime. They were getting hammered.
I mean, I think I'd
Whoa.
rather have. I mean, Stevenson's interesting for that trade that Justin put out there or the ad drop, but Darrell Williams is also interesting. Like, what's going to happen when CEH comes back? Is it going to be a 50-50 split? Because in that case, it's
Maybe.
the same. They're all even in my eyes than Darrell Williams, Gallman, and Stevenson. And I don't want Gallman. We've seen Atlanta struggle moving that ball on the ground. I don't want that situation at all, especially going up against the Patriots this week. Stevenson, on the other hand, is very interesting, but also we don't know. It's the Patriots, the same Patriots every single year. It's a dice roll when you get the running back right. This week we had a little bit more of a definitive alleyway to play on because of all the concussions, and we knew Damian Harris was going to be out. JJ Taylor not really relevant, so it was just Bolden and Stevenson, and we knew Stevenson had a little bit more of a game script dependent running the ball from the backfield. So I don't know. I think I like Stevenson better than Darrell Williams or Darrell Williams, however you'd want to call him, and Gallman. But I'm a little suspect on what's going to happen when CEH comes back, because Darrell Williams might just be as relevant as he is right now.
I think that's fair because if you look at, he's getting used in the passing game where they don't use CEH in the passing game.
But why not?
Because
Because
they don't. But they've been using
They
Darrell
don't.
Williams all year. I mean, you go all the way back to, 3 targets, 2 targets, 5 targets, 4, 4, 6, 4, and then 9, of course, against Vegas, where he went for 101 yards, which, that's an outlier here. But still, that's 4, 6, 4, 4, and 5 points in PPR, even when CEH was in. So,
I was never a big fan of CEH.
I had the hand.
I know you had
Me
the hand
either.
up, but I'll finish with this. I've never really been a big fan of CEH because I've always thought he was too small, and that's a pass blocking problem.
Yep.
Go ahead for a pass heavy team, Corey.
He has been a bad pass blocker. That is true. So Darrell Williams, he had 101 receiving yards, I believe.
Yeah, 10
9
for 10, right? Or 9 for 9.
9 for 9,
How nice.
touchdown.
Nicole
Touchdown was
Hartman.
phenomenal. That was
The touchdown was
a phenomenal catch.
Oh, that was an incredible catch.
Screw
What
Nicole
about Nicole Hardman? Yeah.
In his 3-year career so far,
Thank
how
you
many
for-
100-yard games does he have?
Zero.
Trash.
Not
Zero.
one.
That was an easy
Maybe
one.
Maybe the
He's-
Chiefs are just not good at drafting. CEH, Nicole, I
mean,
don't know anyone else,
Tyreek Hill,
but you know what I mean. Like recently,
Patrick Mahomes.
They're not gonna
Hardman was
draft-
Yeah,
I mean,
Hardman was
I-
a very raw wide receiver though when they took him. They took him on tools entirely, and he just didn't develop.
I think Hardman, they actually took Hardman because that was the year that Tyreek Hill was doing all that legal stuff, and he wasn't going to be able to play, and they needed somebody to match his speed, which they didn't. What they didn't do was get him off the team before they had nobody else to play there. That's the problem.
Or they could have taken DK Metcalf too.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
real problem. But
hindsight analysis is rough though. Bro.
You know, hindsight analysis is rough, but also the Chiefs offense could have Jonathan Taylor and DK Metcalf instead of
right or Swift or Dobbins or Akers. It doesn't matter who, anyone besides CEH. Last question here before we kick it off to our draft. Do I drop Darrell Williams and pick up Stevenson? I feel like we all said yes.
Is there another drop? I want to know if there's another drop because Darrell Williams is a guy that I think he could have rest of season value. Stevenson, I really like, but I worry that we're a prisoner of moment right now because we know it's Bill Belichick and, you know, things can. I'm encouraged because I tweeted that stat yesterday that no Pats back had 20 rushes and 4 receptions in the last 3 years. And so that was encouraging to see that usage. But again, Belichick, we have seen these guys disappear. And Stevenson, if you go to early in the season, he looked great, and then he was inactive the next week, and it was just one of those
scratches. Healthy
scratches after looking very good in game action. So it's just who knows with the Patriots. Whereas I do think that Williams can have rest of season value.
Who has more upside?
Stevenson.
Stevenson has more upside.
Rest of season, it's Stevenson.
It's a battle you're gonna have to do, Justin. Don't overthink.
Nope.
I think you could flip a coin and be okay either way.
I think Darrell Williams has more rest of season upside. I mean, if things get humming in that Chiefs offense, and if he takes over the role from Clyde Edwards-Helaire,
I don't have a coin.
I don't know. I'm just not buying the Mac Jones Express. So it is what it is.
Yeah, you know what?
Well, you better get on board soon, Jeff.
You know what, Jeff? I'm with Jeff on this one with the Darrell Williams because I think he did carve himself out a consistent role, whatever that role is going to be. And we look at Stevenson as, he was great, but Damian Harris, he doesn't have any broken bones. He's coming back off a concussion. All right, he's going to play. There are other players that are capable of doing that pass catching role. J.J. Taylor, we just mentioned. Brandon Bolden, he was the guy. I mean, maybe they're saving Ramondre for when they only need him, and so therefore, I do stick with Darrell Williams on that one.
I think it's important for backs. We look for the targets in the pass catching role, but it's important what type of pass catching role. Whereas Stevenson, they're not using him down the field as a receiver like we saw out of Darrell Williams this past game. Stevenson couldn't make that catch that Darrell Williams made. And whereas Stevenson, he got 4 targets, but it's more dump off work. It's screens. It's that type of work. If a team is willing to use a back vertically down the field, that is a lot more interesting than a team that is just willing to use a back as a dump off.
Seems like a good tweet.
It's a good match. I mean, they're very evenly matched.
I'm going with Williams over Stevenson.
All right,
that's 3-1. Sorry, Nate.
Sorry, Nate.
That's fine.
It's swayed the jury. Sorry, Nate.
Sorry,
Nate. It's fine, Jeff. I know you hate me. It's cool.
So Jeff put this out in the chat. End of the world items you would get from a sporting goods store, and we're not going to do a gun because that's too easy.
So no shooting objects.
Yeah, well, that's a different conversation than a gun.
But like sporting goods store, like I guess it's a sport per se. Take art. What about archery stuff then?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that's what everybody's question.
I was leaning on that.
Right? I think archery. I don't know.
I mean, if we're going with the spirit of a gun, that kind of takes out archery too. I feel like it's.
Yeah, because those are just givens.
It seems.
Like, I'm telling you, I saw a zombie movie. If you're in a zombie situation, get the bow and arrow because bullets go away. Whereas the bow and arrow, you can keep using that arrow as you take the zombies down. So that should be your go-to in a zombie situation over a gun. I'm just saying that. Also, the loudness of the gun can draw the zombie horde towards you. Whereas the bow and arrow is silently, you can take them out.
Well, dude, but that takes a lot more skill.
All right, so are we doing zombie apocalypse or just like
no archery, no guns? All
right, so taking the shooting out of it, it's going to be a free for all, and I'll start it off then. And I definitely want a weapon, and that's going to be a hatchet.
Good one.
That's a good call.
What?
Mini axe hatchet.
What? How are we getting an axe from a sporting good? I guess that's
a hatchet, a hiking hatchet,
dude. Yeah, man, camping
gear, bro.
I'll do hiking hatchet. that smell it right?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, I got the second pick.
I don't even know what I want anymore.
I'm going to go baseball bat.
That's a good one.
Hitting home runs all day, baby.
That's right.
Stevenson or Foreman if I had to pick one.
Stevenson.
Foreman, just to cause chaos. Probably, I don't know. Either's fine.
He's
Yeah.
Jim
Saying
Neal.
for
Yeah, see?
Of
Get
course
it.
he is.
Either one. Foreman at
Because I
least
think
hit
he's
guaranteed
gonna be
volume.
Henry. He's gonna get the volume. He's gonna be the guy.
And he's got any out targeted and recepted McNichols, who was the perceived pass catching back.
McNichols
I
stinks.
mean, he looks slow, but he
Perceived
looks
pass
fine.
catching back.
Like,
McNichols has the drops /
End of the world.
fumbles.
You guys are crazy.
I don't
so
like
my pick is
McNichols.
going to be golf clubs.
Golf
I heard
club
golf
was on my
club.
list.
Yeah, I heard golf clubs too.
What does
Golf-
golf clubs
golf-
mean? Do you want a
golf-
driver?
What
Golf
I
club.
mean,
Golf club he's taking the whole damn thing.
Yeah, carry the whole
I'm
bag.
taking the whole bag,
Yeah.
but
So
Keeping
wait,
the
you're getting
whole
the
bag.
bag or the club?
Golf clubs.
golf
clubs.
clubs.
Golf clubs, no bag.
I mean, if
He'll-
I
he'll
were
build a-
down to
he'll build a
one,
bag.
I'd take a 7-iron because you never miss with a 7-iron.
Oh, I miss with the 7-iron all the time.
7-iron.
All right. A lot of people here went weapons, but I'm thinking long haul. I need one of those camping backpacks, that comes with everything just there.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
the big, like one of the big Osprey, like 100 liters.
Yeah, it has room for the fucking sleeping bag. It has all those compartments and stuff. It comes with the rope and stuff.
Yep, that's a good call, man.
Thank you. Is backpack one word?
Yes.
Yes.
Compound word.
Thank you. Oh crap, I'm up. Oh no, what? I don't know if I have a weapon. I wouldn't think this far. I actually wanted golf clubs. That's why I was being so controversial there. Shout out. He's gonna keep Daryl. Back to back. What do I want? What is sporting goods store? Oh, softball bat.
All
Fine.
right.
Baseball bat's going. I'll take a softball bat. And I believe it's thicker as well.
It's
They're
made of
longer.
metal as well.
Yep.
Aren't they?
I'll take a softball bat then.
Oh, I'm taking a metal baseball bat.
You just said baseball bat, Nate. It's not your turn.
I know. All right, fine. I see how it is.
I'm
Oh,
gonna take a kayak.
nice.
Nice. That is a really good call.
Get
And
out
it's
of
good
there.
I'm taking
for your fucking clubs too.
catcher's gear. Gotta have some damn armor.
That's awesome, dude.
All right.
That shit doesn't work. You ever play catcher and just take one off the chest, dude?
Oh, dude, I have played lots of catcher. That
Yo,
shit
what?
does not work.
Yo, one time I was playing catcher, right? And like they swing and hit a foul ball and it changes trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the ball hit me in my cup, right? But it hit me in the spot where there was no cup and it nicked my ball. And it was the worst pain I've ever had in my life.
Yeah. Oh
All right.
man.
Oh,
Oh,
that
Yep.
that sounds
sucks.
awful.
Yep.
I'm gonna grapple out of that one and take grappling hook,
Ooh. Okay.
rock climbing grappling hook, and you need a lot of rope to go along with that, and that's gonna be my third pick right there.
I like that. That was very well thought out.
So I'm gonna go with the field dressing kit.
What?
Nate's the medic.
No. So
You're the
a field
healer.
dressing kit is for if you're a hunter, that's what you use to gut your animal and clean it before you
Ah.
haul it out of the forest. But it also has some really like nasty like hook knife tools and like sharp boning knives and blades.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna try to take a machete.
That works.
Yeah, that's a good call too.
That's a good one. Man, I can't believe I slipped to the third round.
Yeah, I probably should have taken a machete instead of golf
Did I
clubs.
spell that
but I
right?
didn't.
Yeah, I probably should have taken a machete instead of rope. That would have probably been left there.
Well, but then what's the point of the grappling hook? I might have taken rope. You never know.
I mean, the grappling hook has some kind of cable attached to it.
How do you
you
spell
know?
machete? I didn't spell that right.
No, you spelled it right.
yeah.
Yeah, one T,
close.
not two.
One
You were
T and
close.
machete.
Okay, well then give me the Swiss Army knife.
There you go. Knife.
No, I want. Well, what
Just
do I
the
want?
Swiss Army knife. All right.
No, I want the best. I want the best knife.
Utility
Snap.
knife.
Field
Yeah,
knife.
like once you got the machete, you don't really need the golf clubs anymore. But
Hey, Hey,
Well,
I
what
mean,
if the
if you want to
machete
friend up,
breaks?
Jeff, we could tie the machete to one of the golf clubs and make it like a spear.
It
That'd
could.
be like a
Or I could
bayonet.
trade the golf clubs for something else.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. I'm taking what is it? A canteen? I want a water holding device.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Canteen.
you need water.
Yeah, you do need water.
I don't know if it's like Hydro Flask these days if we're being bougie, but I want water holding device. Is it
Yeah, it's a canteen.
I want a big one that holds a lot.
A Camelback.
A lot holding water device.
Yeah, Camelback. Throw it into your camping backpack.
Exactly.
So that's
Whatever I can get, that's what I want.
Yep.
I'm gonna take a waterproof lighter.
Whoa.
Good one.
Let them burn this place down.
Waterproof, one word?
Yes.
Sure.
Thank you.
Another compound word, as Chef likes to say.
Little CP dub.
A little CP dub.
And there's so many more useful things than golf clubs I could have taken, but
I wanted to take golf club to do, so I'm happy you took it and I didn't.
I'll trade
So
you
for
my
my
golf clubs for a camping backpack.
So my last one, I'm going baseball spikes.
Okay.
Because, first of all, grip when you're running away from the damn zombie or whoever is chasing you. But two, if you get into like close hand-to-hand combat, your foot becomes a much different weapon than if you didn't have
A little bit. I have been spiked a couple times.
I have been
That
spiked
shit does
too.
hurt.
It hurts really bad.
Dude, if you do it in college, you're getting fucked up the next at bat.
I believe it.
Yeah, it's
All
happened
right,
a couple
so I've
times.
got
I may
the
or may not have
hatchet
thrown
and
at
the
somebody for
grappling
that.
hook. I can climb up things. I can use
You
the
could.
rope and tie the hatchet, make it like a scorpion kind
Until
of
I
thing.
utility knife that.
Get
Shut up.
over here. There's two things on my mind, and since I'm the last pick, we can go over it. One, Nate, you were on the right track. I was going to say ice skates.
Oh, yeah.
I kind
You
of
can
like
use
that.
the blade from the ice skate. And the second one, I think I'm going to roll with the second one because I have no like swinging apparatus. So I'm going to go with a field hockey stick.
Yes, good call.
All right, so I can use the grappling hook and the rope and make long
rope with
distance,
the hook, dude?
and
You're
then
just hooking
the
with it?
hatchet and the rope and make a thing or a field hockey thing. And yeah, I mean, that thing's got a hard club at the end of it, dude.
Yeah, but now you got to carry that. See, I got a backpack where I could put my bat and stuff
I could just
in.
tie it with the rope around my back.
You could. You're right. Good point.
Yeah.
I don't got nothing back to that.
This would have been more fun if we would have done hardware
I mean,
store.
Jeff has to carry a
Ooh.
kayak.
And golf clubs.
No, he just lives by, he just lives by the water. He's a water guy, dude. You could store the clubs in the kayak. You're out there with the machete. You're slicing fish, you know? Or
Should
we're
have
all
taken a
together.
fishing pole instead of golf clubs.
Yeah, dude.
I was thinking harpoon gun,
Wow. Yeah, I think
but it's a gun.
I think
it
we bend
shoots
the
things.
rules a little bit, like sporting goods. I was thinking like
So I
not
went
like a
grappling hook
Dick's,
instead. Like that's
not like a Dick's Sporting Goods, but one just has like the normal sports, the major sports.
Yeah,
I thought
think
about taking a basketball.
I think I started at Dick's and ended up at REI. So
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like,
No, Dick's has all that stuff. They've
Well,
got
we
a
do
whole
get a
massive
while with
camping
it.
section.
I mean, a little late here, guys, but should we announce something? If whoever's here watching,
Yeah, I think we should.
should I do it and end it, or should we not do it and then end it?
just do it. I don't know what you're talking
do
about,
it.
so let's just do it.
The Discord.
Oh yeah, go ahead. No one's on here anyway.
That's what I'm saying. Well, there might be. Discord. We're starting up a Discord. If anyone wants to join, I don't know when we'll drop it, but we'll drop it.
It's coming. It's building. It's going. For those of you that
Coming.